Now at 5, KDOT continues planning and construction on Highway 69. See what the latest changes are. Plus, a new sculpture honoring Joplin's mining history now stands at Mercy Park. And
the Trump administration's new reciprocal tariffs will be unveiled tomorrow, but exact details still unclear. I'm Natalie Brand with a look at how one small business owner is trying to prepare.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
April is kicking off with a lot more than spring showers today. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Tanya Bach. Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty has been tracking the incoming storms and joins us now with the latest.
Yeah, and that's if we get any storms whatsoever. Even though we have a severe threat, doesn't mean we're going to have severe thunderstorms. Level 2 threat in the yellow, and then a level 3 out of 5 threat, mainly from Joplin points west. Highest tornado threat through Kansas down through Oklahoma, kind of butting up against that Kansas-Missouri state line. Atmosphere is extremely capped, meaning a lid on the atmosphere, so no storms can really fire. You can see a couple attempts trying to get through the cap. So if we get any thunderstorms, they're going to be in central parts of Oklahoma, and then try to work in late this evening, 8, 9, 10 p.m., but there's not going to be many. They're going to be very scattered, so most of us may not see any rain, but the areas that do get a storm or two, those are the ones that could be strong to severe. So of course, we're going to break this all down for you here in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. Construction plans for the Highway 69 corridor in Crawford County are forming. KDOT held a series of meetings a little over a month ago to get public input on the future of Highway 69, and since those meetings, KDOT has kept the conversation going by accepting feedback on a webpage through March 12th. KDOT has already started some aspects of construction, including a pavement marking project in progress at the intersection at Centennial. Should start in about 2 months. 3 more intersection projects are scheduled to begin next year.
Improvements that we can make to that existing corridor to help facilitate and improve safety, mobility, and provide economic development.
KDOT plans to have another public engagement meeting in June to hear public input on final concepts, and this will close out phase 2 of the corridor study. And they also have an open house meeting in the fall to decide which projects to move along with towards construction. A new bronze sculpture honoring Joplin's mining history was installed today at Mercy Park called Ground Boss. The sculpture depicts a miner from the Tri-State Mining District and was donated by the Robertson family.
Sculpture means everything to me because it represents the contribution that the mining industry made to Joplin and the Tri-State District, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Missouri.
Following the installation, Henry Robertson spoke about its significance to Joplin's history and his family. Well, the Friends of the Joplin Public Library kick off their 3rd annual Spring for a Book fundraiser today. The event runs through April 12th, raising funds to add new books to the library's circulation, including the high-demand Lucky Day collection. So far, 140 books have been donated through this year's fundraiser, with donors able to contribute at different levels.
Next week is National Library Week, and that's a week where we celebrate libraries, we celebrate library workers, we just honor libraries in general. And so each year the Spring for a Book fundraiser coincides with that. It usually runs for a 2-week period, so we usually start the week before National Library Week and then runs through the full week of National Library Week.
Donations can be made at the library or online with special recognition decals available for participants. President Trump is set to announce reciprocal tariffs tomorrow, calling April 2nd Liberation Day. But exact details remain unclear, fueling uncertainty among consumers and business owners. Natalie Brand spoke to one of them, trying to figure out how the new tariffs will impact his bottom line.
At Ford's Fish Shack in Northern Virginia, owner Tony Stafford says currently around 40% of his seafood comes from Canada. He fears new tariffs could impact his bottom line dramatically.
Every small business owner is concerned. We as restaurateurs have been concerned for the last 5 years. First we had COVID, then we had the increases in pricing and the labor shortages, and we really haven't come out of or gotten back into normalcy. And now all of a sudden these tariffs.
The lack of clarity about this tariff rollout is making it difficult for business owners like Stafford to plan, but he says customers will likely see higher prices.
You've already seen price increases, a lot of price increases. It's been 30, 40, 50% over the last 3 years. We're going to see that again, 20, 25, 30% to combat these tariffs.
President Trump has called April 2nd Liberation Day, but has not divulged exact numbers or details of which countries will be impacted.
Monday, he indicated the rate for tariffs could be lower than what other countries impose on U.S. goods.
We are going to be very nice by comparison to what they were. The numbers will be lower than what they've been charging us.
The reciprocal tariffs come on top of 25% tariffs set to take effect Thursday on foreign vehicles and auto parts. The White House has defended its policy, saying the new tariffs will raise revenue and spur business at home. Well, back at Ford's Fish Shack, Stafford says it will take time to transition and find more U.S.-based suppliers. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, the White House.
The Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ all opened again lower this morning as investors brace for the tariffs. The White House says President Trump views Wall Street as a snapshot in time, but he's focused on doing what's best for Main Street. Still ahead, a new study shows intermittent fasting may be more effective for weight loss, how one participant lost 60 pounds. Plus, with measles cases rising in Oklahoma and Kansas, local health officials urge vaccinations. What you need to know. Topping today's Health Watch with 10 cases of measles in Oklahoma, 23 in Kansas, and nearly 500 nationwide. Concerns of the disease spreading is close to home. The Cherokee County Health Department says the best way to combat this disease is to get vaccinated.
If you haven't been vaccinated, it's a good idea to call to see if at your age, if you need to be vaccinated at that time. We do recommend that children that are in daycare to make sure that they are up to date on their immunizations, and any individuals that are immunocompromised should also check on that status as well.
Health officials recommend staying home if you feel sick and to wipe down all surfaces as the virus can stay live for about 2 hours. President Trump's trade war with Canada could cause medication prices to rise in the U.S. An analysis published in JAMA found that while only about 2% of U.S. medications come from Canada, the new Trump tariffs would add another $750 million consumers would need to spend on those medications. The research also shows tariffs could lead to shortages of certain medications. And a new blood test could accurately diagnose Alzheimer's and indicate how far the disease has progressed. Research by Washington University found biomarkers of Alzheimer's and dementia that can be detected in the blood. Knowing how far the disease has progressed can help doctors prescribe effective treatments. Well, many of us are aware of intermittent fasting and may have even tried it. It's a pattern of eating based on time limits. A new study published in the Annals of Internal Medicine finds intermittent fasting methods can have better results than calorie-restricting diets. Danya Bacchus reports.
48-year-old Brian Enderweiss tried different strategies to get healthy, but many were not sustainable.
I felt like I had very little to lose and a whole lot to gain. Coming out of the pandemic, I didn't really feel too great about my sense of wellness at that point in time.
In 2021, at nearly 250 pounds, he signed up for a study at the University of Colorado School of Medicine, where 165 overweight or obese adults were assigned to a calorie-restricting diet for 12 months. Some did 4-3 intermittent fasting.
You significantly restrict intake on selected days a week, and then you eat your normal diet.
Study author Dr. Victoria Catanacci says on 3 non-consecutive days, the fasting group restricted energy intake to about 400 to 600 calories a day. The other 4 days they ate normally, but were encouraged to make healthy choices.
Both groups were targeting a 34% restriction over the course of the week. They were just achieving it in very different ways.
The fasting group had a 7.6% change in body weight compared to 5% in the calorie restriction group. The fasting group also had more people achieve 5% weight loss.
And that's kind of our benchmark for where you're going to start to see pretty significant health benefits for weight loss.
People in the fasting group had more improvements in blood pressure, cholesterol, and glucose levels. That's the group Brian was in. He lost 60 pounds.
Today, I'm not strictly fasting quite as much, but I do feel that overwhelmingly, I get a choice multiple times a day to decide how to fuel myself, and those choices add up.
He says his 40s are his healthiest decade yet. Danya Backus, CBS News.
All participants were given a free gym membership and encouraged to exercise for at least 300 minutes per week. In addition to group-based behavioral support, participants received instruction in calorie counting. That's a look at today's health news. Still ahead, travel trends.
Cruise lines continue to evolve to fit travelers' needs. I'm Wendy Gillette aboard Explorer One with the trends emerging on the seas.
Plus, of course, we're watching the threat for thunderstorms this evening. We're going to look at that coming. Well, of course, a much warmer day for us today. Also windy, but we do have that threat for strong to severe thunderstorms a little bit later on tonight. A lot of upper level clouds may clear up a little bit over the next couple hours. No threat for thunderstorms over the next few hours. This is mainly going to be after 8, 9, 10 p.m. as we go through the evening hours. New tornado watch out, really not affecting us south of Wichita, Tulsa, up toward Veneta, and then down through Oklahoma City in central parts of Oklahoma. That's where thunderstorms will try to get going, but they have to get through that cap, that warm layer of air aloft in the atmosphere, and that kind of suppresses thunderstorms. Had a couple random little showers kind of scoot through earlier today, but what we are watching is back here. Look at the attempt of a few little thunderstorms to get through that cap. So we will see if they can. If this cluster can get going, that would be one to watch as it would work into southeastern Kansas eventually. Later on this evening, of course, the threat for large hail, gusty winds. So here's what's going on. See this little squiggly line? That's our dry line, and that's really separating the warm moist, warm dry, and then the cold front's way back here. So we will see if any thunderstorms can get going ahead of the dry line. If that doesn't occur, we have to wait for the cold front to push in late tonight into tomorrow morning, which should give us some additional storms. All right, so here's 9 p.m. Trying to get a few supercells going. Most of us aren't even going to see rain, but we may get 1 or 2 storms, and that would be it. 1 or 2 storms trying to work in here late this evening into the overnight hours, and then out of here by midnight or 1 o'clock if those can get going. Then late tonight into tomorrow morning as the front works in, then our severe threat returns across the region into southeastern Kansas, and we'll just have to see how beefy those guys can get late tonight into tomorrow morning. So we'll start Wednesday with scattered showers and thunderstorms, and then they'll shift east during the afternoon. Very windy out there, and that is bringing that moisture return right back into the region. The winds are going to be gusting tonight. We're going to have gusts 40, upwards of 45 miles per hour at times until that cold front shifts through. So again, we'll start with scattered showers and thunderstorms during the morning. By the afternoon, we clear out, temperatures into the mid-70s for afternoon highs. That system moves east. Here comes our next system. Clouds increase again. Here's Thursday morning, showers, even a few thunderstorms on Thursday. Non-severe, temperatures into the 50s. Then that system will push out, but we have a couple more systems right behind it. 67 in the morning, 74 by noon. We'll go for a high temp of 76 during the afternoon. Let's go down the road just a bit. So here's Friday. Here's our next system. Showers, even a few thunderstorms again, non-severe. And this lasts all the way into the weekend. So look at our potential rainfall amounts as we go through really the next 4 or 5 days. A lot of areas will pick up 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 inches of rain. Hit and miss storms tonight. 76 tomorrow, 59 Thursday. A little bit cooler Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, with the showers sticking around, warming back up next week.
A little bit of chance of rain every day almost.
Pretty much.
All right, thanks, Doug. Well, coming up, a new cruise ship is making waves with shorter trips, luxury amenities, and unique wellness offerings. Topping today's Consumer Watch, cruising is projected to break records in 2025 for the 3rd year in a row. AAA says 19 million Americans are expected to take ocean cruises this year, and 4.5% increase from last year. CBS News correspondent Wendy Gillette hopped aboard a couple of ships to report on some of the new trends on the high seas.
The party starts as cruisers step aboard Royal Caribbean's Utopia of the Seas, sailing from Port Canaveral, Florida for its 3 or 4 night journeys.
Cheers. Cheers.
First-time cruiser Carlos Cardenas from Atlanta recently celebrated his wedding anniversary with wife Elizabeth aboard the ship, the second largest in the world, carrying as many as 5,600 passengers.
I had always heard good reviews, and it kind of seemed like my thing. You know, I like to be around action at all times.
The action includes Vegas-like productions, new dining and drinking options such as the Tiki Bar, the Pesky Parrot,
I'm a lake man,
and amusements for all ages on ship and Royal's private island, always on the itinerary. Utopia is Royal Caribbean's first newly built ship to immediately embark on shorter trips, one of 11 that will offer 2 to 5 night cruises next year.
We're seeing an uplift in people who are cruise curious or who had never cruised before, because a 3-night or a 4-night is an easy way to try cruising for the first time.
Wellness offerings are also expanding on cruise ships, including here on Explora Journeys, a line that launched about 1.5 years ago. The luxury brand, one of those that invited us aboard, is owned by MSC Cruises, sailing with 2 ships and 4 more in the pipeline. The spa offers a hot tub, sauna, and salt room and 2 gyms, one on an outside deck. Classes include sound healing and Pilates.
A lot of things that people are looking for is just that time to switch off. They want to get away from everything that they do on a normal basis.
Guests can take techno gym sets to their rooms, where an emphasis on peaceful sleep contributes to what the company calls ocean wellness. Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
Royal Caribbean is also focusing more on island experiences, launching another private club in the Bahamas in December and 2 more in Mexico in 2026 and 27. President Trump was joined by Kid Rock as he signed a new executive order aimed at tackling ticket scalping. The order directs members of his administration to ensure ticket pricing transparency, that IRS rules are followed, and that enforcement action is taken to prevent unfair, deceptive, and anti-competitive conduct in the secondary ticketing market. More than 100,000 cartons of liquid egg substitute, including some egg beaters and Bob Evans brand products, are recalled because they may be contaminated with cleaning solution containing bleach. The company that issued the recall, Cargill Kitchen Solutions, says there have been no illnesses or injuries reported so far. Still, the U.S. Department of Agriculture warns consumers should throw the recalled products away or return them to the place of purchase. Final check of the forecast is next. Coming up on KOAM News at 6, a woman is in serious condition after a car crash near Rainbow Bridge. Plus, KDOT moves forward with improvements to Highway 69 after receiving public feedback. And Fort Scott softball hosts Ottawa. Well, Girard Events kicked off the city's monthly Food Truck Tuesday today at Veterans Park. This month's featured vendor, Ghetto Tacos, served up authentic Mexican street tacos and sides from 11 to 6.
You know, Ghetto Tacos, we love to be part of the community. So I was so excited when they opened this event here in Girard. So I was like, hey, especially on a Taco Tuesday, come on, man. I was like, I need to try to get a hold of someone, and we did, and this is the first one, so we're excited to be here and be a part of Girard community.
He makes some good food. Organizers say the event brings the community together while supporting local food trucks.
Well, of course, we are watching for the potential severe thunderstorms. Tornado watch out from Independence down toward Nowata County, including Bartlesville, over towards Sedan, out through Oklahoma City. You can see some storms just northwest of Oklahoma City. Those are starting to get through the cap, so we'll see if those can strengthen and then race toward us as we go through the evening hours. I don't expect any thunderstorms in the four-state area prior to about 8 or 8:30, so that is good news, but we'll just keep our eyes on it.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Doug. Well, thank you for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next, and of course, we'll be right back here for KOAM News at 6, and we'll see you then. Have a great evening and an even better tomorrow.